We're a little late starting because up until 30 seconds ago, the nonfiction judges were in the lobby fighting. This is true. They needed a decider. I could easily have decided, even without reading the books. Good evening, and welcome to the 58th Annual National Book Awards. You may have noticed when making your way down here tonight that Times Square is unusually and delightfully empty. For this you can thank Local 1, the Broadway Stagehands Union, who are on strike. As you probably also know, the Writers Guild of America, made up of television and screenwriters, their distinction, are also on strike. I am, of course, in total and absolute sympathy with both of these striking unions. I am, in fact, in such deep, even profound sympathy with the Writers' Union that I, for one, have been honoring the strike since the last one in 1988. This, unfortunately, is not a stance shared by most of you here this evening. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. Yet I am here too. Why this is, I simply cannot say. There is, however, at least one reason why you all continue to write no matter what. Last night at the New School, there was a 2007 National Book Award finalist reading. The heading on the announcement for the event read, 20 authors for $10. Not a peep from the authors. Not the thickest of veiled threats. 20 authors for $10. This sounded about right to you. Brothers and sisters, I beg of you, rise up. At any rate, the coincidence of these two strikes occurring simultaneously has led to a tremendous dearth of cultural and entertainment possibilities. The writer's strike has forced talk shows off the air and compelled them to show reruns. Apparently, there are people who can tell the difference. And when it comes to what is known as live entertainment, would-be theatergoers are absolutely desperate. The more observant among you, I'll let you fight that out amongst yourselves, may have noticed scalpers and tourists brandishing money outside the hotel. I myself received a frantic phone call from the concierge at the Carlyle, asking me what I planned on doing with what he referred to as my extra ticket. But you took Errol last year, he said, and then hung up on me. And although I couldn't accommodate him, in looking around, it appears that at least some would-be theatergoers succeeded. So, in the generous spirit that I know exists in this room, if there are people at your table who you cannot place, please extend a warm welcome to the Bailey family from Toronto who couldn't get in to see Wicked. Now, there's of course an upside to this strike. Today, there was a huge demonstration on 42nd Street and Fifth Avenue where people were protesting against undocumented workers perusing documents. And it was rumored that illegal immigrants were being given library cards. There was, of course, a counter-demonstration made up of people who insisted that the illegal immigrants were just fine, upstanding, hardworking people who were only reading the books that Americans refuse to read. Now, no matter which side you come down on in this issue, I disagree. I think that all these people who cross our border from Mexico are tourists coming here to take advantage of the favorable exchange rate, courtesy of the weak Republican dollar. Now to the actual purpose of this evening, which is to award the National Book Awards. There are 4 categories, yet there are 20 finalists. Therefore, there will be 4 winners, and 16 non-winners. I am happy to call them non-winners rather than use the usual word, but I feel I must tell you that among the many current phrases which irritate me, the oft-repeated win-win is right up there. We all know that there is no such thing as win-win, because it's a phrase always spoken by the winner-winner. There is such a thing as lose-lose, and this would be called life. And there has, at least once, been lose-win, and this would be called Bush v. Gore. So in deference to the majority, the 16 non-winners, I would like to point out that there have been many times when people failed to get what they want, were very depressed by it, yet it turned out to be a lucky break. For surely there was at least one person standing on the dock, screaming at the driver as the Titanic steamed out of the harbor. Surely there were at least a couple girls distraught that they couldn't get OJ to pop the question. And sometimes people realize that this could happen before it's too late. I mean, when was the last time you heard about gays in the military? They didn't mean the fighting. They were thinking more of the uniforms. And if this is not solace enough, I have in my hand a 60-page list of all of the non-winners since the first National Book Awards in 1950. To mention just a few, in 1952, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger was a non-winner. In 1962, Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger also lost. I think it was around this time that he seems to have given up and gone to live in New Hampshire. And yet, I thought he was supposed to be fleeing success. Well, who am I to judge? In 1987, Beloved by Toni Morrison lost, but she had a different reaction. She didn't go to New Hampshire. In fact, she's here tonight. And if you ask me, she looks kind of expectant. Like there might have been a recount. I mean, Toni, I have the list. You're not on it. I mean, just like last week, I gave you the Lifetime Achievement Award from Glamour magazine. I barely had time to shower and change. So Toni, you're not gonna get anything tonight. But as you can see, she's moved on. She's not in New Hampshire. She's here. But don't let that fool you. She hasn't gotten over it. I have a clear memory of her mentioning this in Stockholm. To the king. Now, let me see. There's something I'm supposed to do here. I want to see there. Your appetizer has been cleared. I'm assuming. Oh, here it is. All right. Those were the opening remarks. I am now going to introduce medal presenter Michael Cunningham. To present the medal for distinguished contribution to American letters is Michael Cunningham. Michael Cunningham is the author of 4 novels, all published by Farrar, Straus, and Giroux: A Home at the End of the World, Flesh and Blood, The Hours, for which he won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, but maybe not the National Book Award, and the PEN/Faulkner Award, and most recently, Specimen Days. Michael Cunningham.